Welcome back, my friend. It took me a few months of work, but today I am very happy to share the key elements of fighting Zarya. General Advanced Tips versus Zarya. Exploit Zarya's big weakness. Her biggest weakness is mobility and/or distance she has to walk. Recognize this weakness, especially during her team's rotations, and understand how far away Zarya is from her team. Find those opportune moments where there is enough distance between them and split them while she's busy traversing map, choke points, or corners. Let's use an extreme example of this concept, where we contain this Doomfist's burst damage by using the default tanking tactic of soft contesting map corner 1, corner 2, and fighting hard for corner 3. I visualize map choke points as corners to contain the enemy threat. The first and second corners are used to provoke a reaction, bait cooldowns, and exit to safety, while the third corner is usually where my full team is already in position ready to fight. This dwindles the other team's resources for less of your own, while stretching their lines thin. Extend the amount of time the enemy needs to spend to traverse this no man's land, aka the space between both teams, keeping your backline comfortably safe. Use this corner idea to punish Zarya's lack of mobility. The confidence to fight for an area of the map comes from my support's safe position in corner number 3. Create opportunities during their rotations to pressure squishies and stretch their lines thin while Zarya is busy traversing the map. Here, I give the Zarya both those corners, effectively increasing the size of no man's land and counting her bubbles, looking for an opportunity to punish her push. As I am running out of armor, Zarya and Lucio are in no man's land, and given that she used her last bubble, this is a chance to throw bomb before my mecha dies and win the fight now. Take this idea to the next level. If you have good control of your armor, you can balance Zarya's high charge with her ego greediness and influence her to overextend past a certain key corner. Create that opportunity where you are the winner in a fight to the death. Counting bubbles to take corners. I tank the Zarya damage onto my armor to charge my support ultimates while counting 3 to 4 bubbles. As long as you have armor, you can convert Zarya's damage into friendly support ults, using Matrix to control the burst damage and smartly using boosters to get back to safety. As long as you have armor plus your supports nearby, use Zarya's damage as a timer for you to get stuff done. Use the map geometry such as high grounds and corners to bait enemy attention and control the amount of damage your team is receiving. Set up your backline at a safe corner you can pit stop to where the Zarya cannot rush, such as corner number 3. Good mobility and discipline to survive long enough and finally be able to punish the Zarya when she has no more cooldowns. Focusing targets around bubbles. The better Zaryas will always look to bubble her teammates, so focusing squishes early on is usually harder, but as the fight goes on, she will have less bubbles. So do not overcommit, take your time, be flexible with your target priority, movement, and armor. In the early fight, use movement around corners and cooldowns to bait the self bubble 11 seconds or the friendly bubble 9 seconds, while controlling Zarya's attention and eating right clicks. As the fight goes on, Bite your time and find targets to burst down or dive, forcing Zarya in making a decision. Either bubble her friends or self-bubble to try and fight your team while you are not there. Recognize that one Zarya bubble cooldown is approximately 2 of your boosters, so use this time frame to guide your judgment. Usually one boosters to go in and the second boosters to get out. Blocking the right clicks. In the previous clips, did you notice how hard I worked to block Zarya's right clicks? This is because a huge portion of Zarya's burst potential relies on that damage to confirm kills, inflict range pressure, etc. Remember that 4 right clicks completely empties her gun, so pay extra attention to her ammo conservation when blocking, eating or avoiding right clicks. This significantly decreases her ult generation and noticeably hurts every single Zarya's rhythm. Realize when to mirror Zarya. While D.Va loves to burst damage during an enemy team's windows of vulnerability, Zarya is here to decrease the number of times her team are open to moments of imminent danger. Zarya thus elongates the duration of fights, and if D.Va cannot confirm kills before running out of power, mirror swapping to Zarya increases your team's consistent damage output, but also provide teammates with longer windows of invulnerability. You can also use other heroes when you need to accentuate Zarya's weaknesses, like on maps with high grounds for example. Other tanks have their own pros and cons versus Zarya. To conclude, let us combine these concepts to dictate fights versus Zarya. This is an awkward high ground for Zarya to contest, keeping me in a power position as long as I have enough armor. Zarya gets absolutely melted around the corner when she meets my team. Now, it's all about making the map as difficult as possible for Zarya's team to traverse. My team is set up while I disrupt the enemy's engage. I want to keep my team's good setup, so I control the corners / choke points that lead to my backline. You can see how hard I make it for the enemy to get close. I stay in control of that important corner by being sure to be in position for when the Zarya comes for my team. I am waiting for Torque to finally hit the shot before confirming the kill with boosters. I use my mobility advantage to pick up squishies while the enemy team is moving / rotating. Zarya is still there while I was busy using my mobility to confirm a kill. This whole time I stay in control of the situation and my HP, contesting or outmaneuvering the Zarya as needed. As I start to expect the grab, I keep an eye on the Zarya's movement and another eye on my team's vulnerability and position. As soon as I start losing control of the situation, I rely on using corners and high ground to position my matrix and predict grab opportunities. And this is my team's tactical advantage, winning the fight for us. Same idea to control the map as before. I want to make her grab difficult to pull off or follow up, so this early aggro contest of the choke point increases the pressure on this Zarya a bit too much. In part 2, we will be discussing how to play against a Zarya Grab. A big thank you for watching. This was Fape for the Fapelele Gaming channel.